Hello guys, and welcome to my video. So obviously, for today's video, I'm gonna do something Halloween inspired. If you don't celebrate Halloween, don't worry, because I think that this makeup look is pretty enough that you can still wear it out if you're into like that dark sort of vibe. I think it's perfect for a night out. Adding the blood red lipstick just made it more of a vampy look. So I wanted to do something that was really affordable for those who do celebrate Halloween. I usually don't. I like to do the least. I don't like to spend money on costumes. I don't have the money for that. I don't have the time for that. So I have never really I don't really do Halloween. If I go out, I'll go out and try to do a costume that I can just use makeup for. So that's what I wanted to do for you guys. If you guys have somewhere that you're going but you still want to be glam and have a pretty makeup look, that's what this is. I think that Halloween is the one day of the year where you can really go crazy with your makeup and no one's gonna judge you. So that's what this is. So I hope that you guys like this vampire makeup look. If you do, go ahead and keep watching and we'll get started. Alright guys, so let's get started. As you guys can see, I already have my brows in and I already went in with my primer. That is the Nivea Men's Aftershave Balm. Moving on, I'm going to get into this NYX Dark Circle Concealer Corrector in the shade Medium. It's just an orange pigment that I like to place wherever I have darkness, so I concentrated a lot underneath the eyes. I had some really dark circles coming out today, so just to get rid of some of that darkness, I placed some there. I also placed it on the sides of my nose and around the mouth and around any acne scarring that I might have, just to get rid of that darkness. I went in with a beauty sponge and just dabbed that in. I am not a fan of this beauty sponge. It is way too big for my face. It was something I was trying out. Not a fan. Moving on, I'm going to get into my Tartelette palette and I'm going to get into the color Supermom. Using an e.l.f. smudger brush, I'm just going to apply this underneath the brow and onto the lid, but it's really going on the whole lid, so I did place some on the crease just to make sure that the concealer is set. Next, I'm going to move on to the colors Orange Soda and Burnt Orange from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm taking this fluffier brush from a Morphe set that I have, and I am really concentrating this above the crease. We are going to be using a lot of dark colors, so I wanted to make sure that the orange really popped out as the crease color. So I spent a lot of time getting a good pigment and just making sure that there's a good concentration of this color on the lid, on the crease. Next, moving on, I'm going to get into the colors Natural Beauty and Best Friend, and I'm going to take a smaller version of the brush that I just used. I'm really going to concentrate this solely on the crease. I wanted to make sure that there was a good definition there in the crease. So I just took this in wind wiper motions and just went back and forth until I got the color that I wanted. Really spent a lot of time blending this in and just deepening that color. I always have to tilt my head at an angle to make sure that I am getting that in where I want it to go. So if you see me tilt my head a lot, that's why. Just making sure it is in the crease. Next, I'm taking that same brush I used for the transition color and I am just making sure everything's blended. Moving on, I'm getting into the color Bombshell. So this is a pretty deep purple. This is going to be my lid color. So I started off by placing a bit of this into the crease so that it blended in well, and just moving down along the lid and just placing it onto the lid as well. So this took a bit of a process. It took a bit of time to get the color as deep as I wanted it to, and also as blended and in the crease where I wanted it. So take your time with this color since it is so dark. I went back and forth quite a lot, just getting it into the crease, onto the lid, the color that I wanted, and then I went in with a fluffy brush just to make sure that that wasn't looking crazy. So I did blend that out into more of a V shape here because I'm going to go in with a wing afterwards. And then again, I went in again with the same color. You really want to build this color You really want to just get it into the crease, onto the lid, how you would like it. So just take your time with this color. Once I felt like that was all blended, I went in with my Marc Jacobs eye pencil. You can use any eye pencil that you have, but I just wanted to tightline before I did my eyeliner. I wanted to make sure that this look was really dark, so I went in just to make sure that the waterline was black. Next, I went in with my NYC liquid eyeliner, and I wanted a fierce wing today. It doesn't matter if I'm a vampire, I want a fierce wing. So I went in and I usually extend the line first and then go back in and create my wing. It's easiest for me to do it this way, and then you just extend the line once it's all filled in and you're good to go with your wing. Next, moving on, I'm going into foundation. So I'm going to use the Matte Fit Me foundation from Maybelline, but I'm mixing the color 130 with my usual color 228. 130 is way too light for me, but since we're supposed to be vampires and they're supposed to be dead, I wanted to be a little bit lighter just to give that dead looking effect. But I didn't want to go so pale that I just looked crazy, so I did mix in my shade as well just to get a bit lighter on my foundation, just to give a vampire look. I didn't like the beauty sponge I was using, so I went in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge and just made sure everything was blended in well. Next, moving on, I'm going to use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer and my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. So the Instant Age Rewind Concealer, this one is in the shade Light Pale. Since my foundation is lighter today than usual, I wanted to make sure my concealer was too, but I did mix in my usual color of concealer as well. And using my Real Techniques beauty sponge, I'm just going to blend that in as well. I know that vampires are supposed to be dead and probably have bad under eyes, but I did not want that. I look tired enough already. So I did go in with concealer and just highlighted under the eyes with a lighter concealer than usual. And I really had to make sure that was all blended in since it is much lighter than I'm used to, so spent a lot of time dabbing that in. I also took those same concealers onto my forehead, onto my nose, and onto my chin to highlight, and I just used that same beauty sponge to blend it in. Next, as per usual, I'm taking my Laura Mercier setting powder, and I'm just going to set wherever I put the concealer. And this is really going to whiten under the eyes as well. I'm getting a really pale vibe right now, so... Next, I went in with my Smashbox contour kit, and I actually took a brush today. I wanted to have a really defined cheekbone. I wanted to be chiseled. So I went in with that same color onto the rest of my face as well to contour. Went back in with my Marc Jacobs eye pencil here, and I took it into the waterline as well as below it. I wanted to have a very dark under eye, but you do want to make sure that when you do this you are blending it out. So I went in with my e.l.f. smudger brush after this, and I picked up the burnt orange color that I was using, and I just made sure that that was very blended out because it was pretty concentrated when I first put it in, so I needed to really blend that out so it didn't look too intense under the eyes. So again, all of this is a process. You want to take your time blending everything out. Moving on to mascara, I used my favorite Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara for my top lashes and my Carbon Black Telescopic Mascara for my bottom lashes, and I just coated those. I went in with my favorite lashes. These are the House of Lashes Iconics. I think they just transform your makeup look. And then I went in with just a bit of blush just for the apples of my cheeks, even though I'm supposed to be dead. I just wanted blush. Next, moving on, I used MAC Whirl Lip Pencil, and I just used this to line my lips since we are using two different colors for the lips today. For my liquid lipsticks, I'm using one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. That's the one on the right. It's the one I'm applying right now, and that is in the shade Veronica. I love this color. I think it's a perfect everyday fall color. And next I'm using Brooklyn Thorn from the NYX Liquid Suede line, and it's just more purple. For my fake blood, I did use red lipstick, and I used my pinky to smear it to give it more of a blood effect, and I went in over top and just used a different red lipstick to give it more of a blood feel, but you can definitely buy your own fake blood if you prefer that. This was just a cheaper alternative to buying fake blood. Alright guys, so I applied some highlight off camera, but that is the end of today's vampire Halloween makeup look. I wanted to do something very dark and glam for Halloween, something that you don't have to spend money on. You can just do it with what you have at home, but you can still show up looking chic if you'd like to. And if you don't celebrate Halloween, I think it's still a pretty nice makeup look that you could wear out if you wanted to. But I hope that you guys like this look. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you did. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.